Okay, so the topic is today the SAP security. So which means SAP for every SAP product, even our mobile devices, our computer, our laptops. So any device security is very important here. So in order to theft the data, theft the data by hackers or anything. So the security is very important. The protecting the data is very important for the everything here. So here at the same time, SAP security. First of all, what is SAP security here? First of all, so what is SAP security? What is SAP security? What is SAP security? So SAP security is providing the normally why we have security to the SAP systems here. So unauthorized access, okay, to restrict the unauthorized access, that is fine. And also one more thing is here, security is providing the correct access to business users with respect to their authority or responsibility, giving the right access to the business users. Suppose sales employee, sales manager, sales consultant. So providing the right access, providing the correct access to the business users with respect to their authority, or so responsibility, whatever the responsibilities they are providing, whatever the responsibility they are using. Suppose like I am the salesperson, right? I am not the sales administrator, just a sales consultant. So I have only limited roles, limited activities I have to perform. In that case, so I have also the security team has to define the respective role, sales consultant role with limited responsibilities role we have to define. Then that role we have to assign to the related security person, related sales person. So sales administrator, he has more responsibilities than consultant, right? So we have to assign the more responsibilities, means one more role we have to build it, we have to create it here. So that is the major security means, SAP security means providing the correct access to the business users with respect to their authority or responsibility for giving the access. Then here for this one, we need to create the multiple roles we have to create it here. Then what is the role here, right? So what is the role here? Like why we discussed about security means multiple roles we have to create it, so that based upon the user responsibility we have to assign that role. Then first of all, what is the role here? What is the role and where we have to create? So PFCG is the transaction code, there we can create the role here. So the role is referred to, the role means the group of actions, set of actions. Suppose salesperson, as I told, right? Salesperson, he will perform only sales related activities, sales related tasks. So group of tasks. So the role is referred to a group of T codes or transaction codes, which is assigned to the one particular task of the each role. So the role, the T codes, suppose sales administrator, right? So we will create the sales administrator. For sales administrator, only these transaction codes we have to assign to them, so that only we will assign the, so that to those transaction code to the that role, each role we will assign to them. So that that role we will assign to the particular privileges to execute the transaction code. That privilege of certain privileges we will assign to that role. So that's the role, that is the reason. So whatever the role having certain transaction codes, so only the user only execute the particular transaction codes, he will execute it. He will execute it here in the system. He will execute in the system here, right? So while doing this configuration here, so they are the multiple roles we may have to create. First of all, we have to derive the multiple roles, and So everything, so we have to create it in the systems here. Everything we have to create it in the systems here. So if you see here, if you log into the system, you log into the system here. So let me log into the system. First of all, every organization, as soon as the installation is completed, so the security team, we will hand over the system to security team. Security team will build the roles. So build the roles. So user creation, we can perform using SU01. User creation, we can perform, everybody knows, like user creation, we can perform SU01, right? So mass user creation, we can perform using SU10, right? So that is the one, right? So here we can use this transaction codes for the user creation. But for fine, user creations, we can perform it. But first of all, roles we have to define it here in our business. So what are the roles we have to define it here? Suppose in the basis team itself, we have the L1 team, right? So L2 team, right? L3 team, like that teams are available here. So we have to restrict. L1 means just monitoring team. Only monitoring related role we have to assign it to the monitoring L1 role, which means only only the monitoring related responsibilities we have to assign to the here. Then L2 role means so monitoring plus so some additional functionalities. Monitoring plus some additional functionality. Some additional functionalities means suppose like kernel upgrades. So some additional debugging related functionalities. Here. So L3 means it's a all. It kind of all responsibilities. Monitoring, debugging plus so some other additional functionalities, spams and some other additional functionalities, admin level activities he has to perform it here. So like this, we have to assign we have to create the roles here. Same as like security, same as like functional, same as like FICO, sales, MDM. So like that, multiple roles we may have to create it here. So where they will create it here, they will go to the PFCG. PFCG is the transaction code. Then they will create the role here. Suppose like Z underscore, maybe Z underscore. So L1, Z underscore. Why? Because always the roles starts with the custom roles. The custom roles always starts with the so Z star or Y star. Why? Because in the system we have already roles are available here. The few roles are already available in the system, which are the standard roles. Those roles are starts with the SAP star. So see here, so account payable assistant, account receivable assistant. So respect to person, salesperson, right? Salesperson related roles. So right, HR administrator related roles. So each person there is separate roles are available. So few people they will use the existing roles to assign. Few people they need existing roles, or few people so they can create the multiple separate roles here. So these are the SAP standard roles which are available here. SAP standard roles which are available here. If you want to use those roles, you can use it. Otherwise, you can create own role also. We can create it here. Suppose like L1 basis team here. Just click on the create single role. Okay. Just you can provide the description here. Just save it. Provide the description and save it here. So then go to the menu here. Role menu. So assign the transaction codes here. So what are the transaction codes? Monitoring means SM50 is the one of the monitoring transaction code. Then SM51 is the one of the monitoring transaction code. So he has to monitor the ST22 and also he has to monitor the SM21. So right. So like this, we have to assign the few transaction codes to the user. Few transaction codes to the user we have to assign to them. Right. Only L1 team. So the only few transaction codes we are assigning to the user here. Right.
Default SU53.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah, many things like not only here. So some DBA, DB02, some other. So many transaction codes. First of all, we have to define this one. All the things we have to So we have to assign this one, right? After that, go to the authorizations here. After that, go to the authorizations here. So here we have to define we have to generate the authorization profile. We have to generate it here. Authorization profile we have to generate it here. Authorization profile means privileges. Authorization profile here. Authorizations means the privileges to execute the function in SAP, that is called the authorization, right? Each role, the set of privileges we have to define it here. So that one we have to go to the PFCZ authorization tab. Here, just click on the profile. We have to generate it. It will be generated automatically by SAP. Then go to here change the authorization data. Change authorization data. Then you will get the icon like this here, right? So you will get the authorization changes here. You will get here. So here, so you need to provide the authorization object here. So for this transaction codes, we have to provide the authorization object here. So authorization object means authorization objects are group of authorization fields that normally, so few transaction codes, we require only display access, only create access, only execute access, only display access. That fields we have to fill it here. That field we have to fill it here. Just select this one, just go to the manually add here. So that authorization object we have to manually add it here. So suppose example s underscore develop. So like this, you can add the multiple things here. Sir, how can I know what is the authorization object for? So this transaction codes normally, what is the authorization object for the each and every authorization object here? So take the one more new session here. So there is a transaction code SU 25, I think. Actually 25. This is the profile generator.
23 or 24, I think.
24 or
23.
yeah. So here, so you can enter the transaction codes here. You can enter the transaction code. So in the transaction code, suppose like SM50 transaction code we entered here. So that based on this, we will get the respective object, we will get it out here. Respective authorization object, we will get from here. So is it what? Correct one? SU 23.
I think that not the T codes.
T code also, there is one T code actually.
SU 22, sir.
Yeah, SU 22.
Yes, I think yes.
Yeah, this is the one. So here we will find out the operation object. Object we will get here. Respective objects we will get it out here. See here for this SM50. See here. So we have the respective authorization objects are available here, right? Respective authorization objects, associated objects are available here. So that we can take the objects here. Normally we have to assign. We can take the objects here. So you can see GUI related activities, SE16. So administration function of the CTS. So like this, we have to system authorization. So pick up one object here, an authorization object here, go to the here. So manually, then just execute this button, you will get this one. So what authorizations? Just provide this functionality. So what authorization? You want to provide the full authorization, or you want to display only display functionalities, or whatever you want. So just check marks. Here we need to select the check marks here. Manually we need to choose all these things. So manually we have to choose. So system messages. So analyze the system logs. Then what about the others, like just check. Oh, SP01, SM02 is selected this one. So okay, otherwise full authorization, all access you will get. So you don't want the full authorizations, remove this one. So I want to only assign these two to only, then select the save button, then generate it. You have to generate the profile. The profile has been created here. Save it. Once the data is saved, go back, then generate, right? So authorizations are changing now. Authorizations are changing now. So like this, we have to create the roles. We have to create it here directly. We can assign the user IDs to the here. Otherwise, while creating the user also, you can assign the here. Suppose example. Suppose example. So go to SU01 for creation of the users here. So create the one user here. Suppose like so test user we can create it here. Test user, one test user we will create from here, right? Just click on the create button. So here just fill the form here, last name, okay, dialog user. So just enter the password here. Group also we have to create, but it's not required validity from and to. So then defaults, parameters, it's all not required. The roles. So here we have to assign the roles. So this test user, who is this test user? He is from so basis L1 role here. So then you can create the Z star role. Then he will perform. He will just create the Z star role here, single role. Z star role here so that you can only perform the Z star only. See here, ZL1 basis. Like this, we have the other roles also available. ZL1 basis role I am assigning to this person here. So right. So then, so just click on the save button here. Save button here. User has been created. In SU01, we can create the user. We can lock the user. So we can unlock lock, and also the password reset also we can perform it here. We can copy the user, we can delete the user. So whatever you want, you can perform from SU01. So this is for the single user creation, single user creation here. So let me log in with test user here. Okay. So here we have assigned only so respective roles on respective things only we have assigned here, right? So SM51. So only these things you can access it here. So you can only open the data and everything you can open it here. So right. So SM51. So 51 also we have assigned, but only with restricted authorizations here. So and also so ST22 also we assigned, but I think ST22 we have not assigned any authorization object here. So that is the reason it's saying that no authorization object here. So to get the what is missing here, you need to go to the SU53 here. When you go to the SU53 here, you will come to know so what is missing here. See here. So there is an authorization object S underscore develop. So S underscore develop. So above workbench, SM51. So all these things are missing here. See here, S underscore develop authorization object. So you have these things are missing here, S underscore object. So then go to the here. So that respective role, right? PFCG, go to the change mode here, authorization objects. Here you can add the S underscore develop. right? So here, this is also missing here. Here manually we have to create the what activity, only display access here, right? Only display access here. Okay, then what is the package? We don't know package. Just star all the packages he has to add it here. What is the object name? Just enter the star. What is the object type? Star means all objects he can access here. What is the above program he has to access all? So then provide all star, then click on save, generate, right? Go back. So save here. That is done, right? So you have assigned more privileges now. So now if you access something now, so let's see whether we will get the same error or not now. Right now we are able to access the ST22 also. Previously we got those errors, right? So now SM50 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 also we are able to access here, right? So like this, so we are able to access the whatever the transaction codes you have assigned to the here, you are only allowed to access only these transaction codes based upon the role, right? The role is the role contains the list of authorization objects. Each object there is a authorization object there is a separate tasks are assigned here. So that here, this role is restricting to access only this particular transaction codes only. The role is restricting, so only this particular transaction code only. So that is the reason. So the role defining the roles are very important here. The defining the roles are very important here. So that is the reason the role is referred to a group of transaction codes which we will assign it to the particular business role. So the group of T codes we will assign to the particular role, right? So in that role we will create the profile, same as like here how we created the profile, right? So PFCC, I am not authorized with the PFCC. Why? Because I am in the different user. So here in the PFCC, so here the authorizations are very important here. So the authorization object means here, so a group of authorizations, the group of authorizations are called the authorization object here. So that we will assign to the particular action, either the only display, create, whatever you want here, you have to define here in the change authorization data. So okay, so normally the pure SAP security persons they will perform it here. Normally you should just don't go in the deep level, just go just a basic level. Why? Because we don't require every organization. So definitely there is a security persons, they will take care of the security related things and everything here, right? So that is the one important thing here. So one more thing here. So to lock all the users, so we suppose some during the activity time, during this is the role creation, right? That is the single role creation. To go to the PFCC, we can create the single role creation. We can create it here. Composite role means composite role. Composite role means so group of single roles are called the composite role. Means multiple single roles we can merge into one composite role. Suppose like so. Right, go to the here. So multiple roles, whatever the roles you have, multiple roles we can merge into one role, one composite role we can create it here. So that is the composite role here. So how they want to go, the security role strategy, they will define it, the security role strategy. So the security team, they will define it here, how they want to go for this one. So right, so here, so then apart from that, so mass user creation. Suppose you want to create the mass users, then go to SU10 here. So here we can create the multiple users we can create at a time. At a time we can create the multiple users here. SU01 is only for the single user creation. This is for the mass user creation. Test 1, test 2, test 4. So like this multiple users, we can just click on the create button. So you can define the dialog users. Just click on the save button. So multiple users will be created automatically. So there is the initial password also set automatically. This is the initial password. Initial password. See here, mass users I have created. At a time I have created the mass users. Just 4 users created. Like this, you can create the number of users you can create it here. So that is the one thing in the mass user creation. So that we have to perform in the SU10. SU10, SU01 is for the single user creation. SU10 is for the mass user creation, and PFCG is for the role creation. Role, all the majority of the thing we will perform in the PFC. Role maintenance. Okay, role maintenance activities we will perform in the PFCG transaction code here. So roles, authorizations, and everything here. So then how to lock? Suppose is there any lock? How to lock all users? All users. Suppose during the activity time we may have to lock all the users here. So that time, so we have to use the EWZ5 is the transaction code. EWZ5. EWZ5 is the transaction code to lock or unlock the users. Suppose during the refresh time or during the upgrade time. So during the time, so we should not allow users to log in and do the changes, right? In this case, if you use this transaction code, so we can mass lock all the users here. So like suppose example, just you can select what users you have to lock it. So then select all the users. So lock it here, right? Select all the users to lock it here. Just click the lock symbol that all users will be locked here. So like, so if you want to unlock, we can also get unlock the users also, right? Lock the users, unlock the users here. So right, so that is what we can do it in the systems here, right? Locking, unlocking. So choose the user. Suppose I want to only lock this only 3 users here. So I want to lock these users here. Then select this button. Just click on the lock symbol here. The users will be locked. The user will be locked here. So that is what we can do it in the systems. So EZW5. So mass user, so locking and unlocking button. Okay. So that is the locking and unlocking here. So then the next one is called the audit log enabling. How to enable the audit log and retrieval the audit logs here. How to enable the audit logs here. How to enable the audit log here. How to enable the audit log here. So SM19 we can enable the audit log here. Then retrieval of the audit logs means checking the retrieval of audit log, the enabled audit log, we can use SM20 here. So audit logs. Why? Because every auditing will happen yearly once here. Why? Because to know the people who are doing the critical transaction codes, so they will use this audit logs here. So that here we can find out here. We can find out here about the, so we can enable it. We can find out the all the details here. So if we go to the SM19 here we can enable the audit logs, audit log policies. We can create it here. So the profile name we can create it here, audit profile name. Suppose like the user critical transaction codes profile, we can add it here. So dialog user, so all the users. So dialog audit classes, dialog logon, RFC call, transaction starts. So whatever you want to user master record changes, everything should be audited. Everything should be audited. All, only critical or all. So I want all here. So if you want to go detailed configuration, you can go to the detailed configuration. So here, what you have to record it here. So everything should be recorded here. So whatever the user are doing, suppose user is suppose some few people, they will technically they will delete something, then they will recreate it, they will cancel it, they will do, right? Everything should be audited here. Everything you want to, everything should be audited here. So that's the reason you are using this one. So you are selected this profile, then saving the configuration here, right? So active instance. Now the configuration is active now. So all these things should be active now. All this should be active now, this configuration. So activated. Now active profile is activated, means this is active now. Like that, we can create the number of audit profiles, we can create it here. Number of audit profiles, we can create it here. See here. So the file size is getting increased. The file size is getting, we can see file size is getting increased here. So right, the size is getting increased here. The status audit is active here, right? So means everything is getting recorded here. Everything is getting recorded in the systems here. So if you go to the SM20, so SM20 here, so we can here we can find out the information here. We can find out the information here. All the information we can track it here. So what exactly they are doing here, audit logs. So basis user, I'm only one person in the system. So what I am doing, I am using the SM19 and 19 only transaction codes. So everything is active here. Anything is missing here. So I'm configuration, I have changed the configuration. Slot 1 is inactive. Again, I activate the configuration is changed. So like that, each and every action is recording here. Each and every action is recording here. So like this, in SM19, we can create the more audit logs classes. We can define it here. More filters, we can use it. More profiles we can create. So it will be tracked. It will be tracked. If we create the more, it will be tracked here. So that in this way we can ensure we are compliant with the organization policies. The main aim of this enabling the audit logs is like, so if any person, so they have to do only their responsibilities only, not the other responsibilities here. Means basis means only basis has to do the basis activities, not like user creations, not like that other resetting the passwords and everything here, right? So this is the way we have to. So if you enable the audit log in SM19 and SM20, we can check it out. So in this way, we can find out all those things and everything here, right? So that is the main thing of the audit log here, right? So this is the audit log and the PFCG security creation, roles creation. So just high level, I have explained here. Still we have SU53 authorization check. What you should know, SU53 authorization check. Suppose if you are facing any authorization issue, immediately you have to go to the SU53, then provide the screenshot to the security person. They will take care of all those things here. They will take care of the assigning the authorization objects to your role. Then they will assign to the here, right? So here, there is one table actually in the SE16. There is a TSTCT. In this table, you will see what are all the transaction codes which are available here. All the transaction codes you will find out from here. That is called the TCT. This is the transaction code here, right? TSTCT. It is the transaction code here, right? So the parameters, that is about the profiles, users, authorization objects, and etc. Okay. The role creations, role means, so role we have to assign to the user. It is that person is used to execute the transaction codes and so everything here. So that the role is the very important here. The role is the very important here. So that only whatever the role, suppose like you created in the role, suppose like example in the PFCG, you created one role, right? One role you created, PFCG, one role you created here. Go to the display mode, you can create the one role here. In this role, you assigned only the few transaction codes you have assigned. So the role is assigned to the which user, that user is only responsible to execute the only the particular transaction codes only. The particular transaction code only is executed. In this particular transaction codes also, you want to restrict, you want to only display access, you want to only read only access. In this case, you have to go to the edit the authorization data. So then here you can. So in this authorization, so the profile is very important here. The profile is very important here. So this profile is element of the, this profile is one of the element of the authorizations here. So it will allow users to access the system here. Users to access the system here. This profile, it will allow users to access the system here. Without the profile, even you cannot access anything. Even though the role is assigned, you cannot access the system here. So the authorization check particular profile, so we have to assign to the user. So here the profile and related authorizations, both are we have to assign to the one role here. This role we have to assign to the particular user here, the test user, whatever the user, we have to assign to the user here, right? So this is the way we have to create the role, authorizations, and all those things we have to assign to the user here. So that is the one, right? So that is the one we have to assign. So more still we have to, more are there, like organization level. So management we have to discuss here. So but it's not required, you will get confused here. If I discuss more, so only particular group you have to assign the role, not all the groups. Only particular company codes we have to assign here. So this basic information is enough for you. So for the security point of view, we don't require so in detailed security. Why? Because separate security team they will take care of, but minimum security roles you should be required here. So minimum means, so you require the, so SU01, SU10, PFCG, and SU22, and SM19, then SM20 for the audit log enabling. So then, so EWZ5, locking, unlocking the mass users here. So then what next? So SU53. So these are the, security related transaction codes. These are the security related transaction codes. You should know about the all these transaction codes, user creations and roles creation. So that's it. Basic level information is okay for you guys. Okay. So you don't require the, so in detailed way. Why? Because if you go the in detailed way, so you will get so more confusion here. So don't go in detailed way. So if you want to go, so I can explain some other day, so some detailed way, but not now. Okay. So this is about the security, user creation and roles creations here. So in the same time, so suppose while creating the user, suppose someone asking you to reset the password, go to the SU01, you can reset the password of the user here. Just to click on the reset the password. So suppose the user is left the organization, just you can just click the lock button here. Okay. So then, so copy the user. So we can use the one model ID, copy the all the users responsibilities. You can delete the user. So here, while creating the user, we have the types of users are there here. See here. So user type here, dialog user. So dialog user means, so who are logging from, so dialog mode. Dialog mode means front end, which means it's from GUI. Who are logging from SAP GUI. So those are the dialog users here. Those are the dialog users, means dialog workflows will take care of the all one. System user means, so system level, maybe in the RFC communications. So those level we will use the system users here. So system users, they cannot log in from SAP GUI. Only dialog users can log in from SAP GUI. So communications data. So in the service level, so we will use it here. So service user in the SACF, in the SACF service level, we will use it. So this user, service user, we can log in with dialog mode, but the password reset, initial password reset is not possible with the service user here. There is a small difference between the dialog and service user. Dialog user, you can log in, maybe you need to reset the initial password, but here service user, you cannot reset the, it's not possible to reset the initial password. Whatever the administrator defined the password here, those passwords you have to use it here. So normally the users who are logging through GUI, those users are logged already. So dialog users, suppose example, so basis user. So basis user, our guys are using the wrong password. That's why we created as a service user here. So right. So test user. So service user means password will not be locked here in this service user here. So majorly the service level. Service level means in SACF R. So in this SACF services, so those services, so system to system communication time. So we will use this. So background users. So background users here in the jobs, while jobs also running on the user. So in the, we will use this service users or system users to run the jobs So we will not run anything on the dialog user. Why? Because dialog users is locked. So all jobs getting failed. So we will use the system user for the background job perspective, and service level service user, we will use it here. Okay. So this is the types of users. So you can carry out this basic information with this one. Okay.